right, everybody, welcome back to the Objective Slant. You already know who I am. I'm Michael Aaron Lloyd. We're back in the studio today. It's gonna be great. Got a guest here with me today. We're gonna talk about a lot of things. Well, kinda, but not really. You know, it just is what it is. It kind of came on the fly as I tried, my hardest to get the SGA president up in here today, but that didn't happen. SGA is very busy with some things, and it's all gonna be good. We still got one person. 1 out of 2 is not that bad. We're gonna introduce her right now. What's your name, madam?
So I'm Kelly Neidert. I'm the chairman of Young Conservatives of Texas.
Please explain to us, what the organization is. Are you even official? Because people do have like some issues. Are y'all official, or are y'all not official, or on UNT's?
We're official. There was originally a chapter before I came here, and they died out last semester. So this semester I went through all the steps to become recognized again.
Great. Fantastic stuff. How do you feel, considering it is the Young Conservatives? How do you feel about people reacting towards I guess the group or the organization? How do you feel about I guess the negative reactions, or there's some positive stuff that goes on, especially the Twitter page. It's very fun to look at. But how do you feel about that?
It's really entertaining. I mean, I knew coming here it's a liberal university, so I was going to get some backlash, but I think it's been kind of more extreme than I thought. But most of the time it's not anything productive. It's just, funny to laugh about it, so we don't take it too hard.
That's great. Great stuff. How do you feel, before I ask her, so last Thursday night, I was doing something else on Thursday night. I was with some friends. Last Thursday night, there was a free speech event. I don't remember the hashtag, but it's okay. A lawyer that we're not gonna discuss her name because I feel all the stuff's already out there. But she did say a racial slur, which is obviously not okay. UNT's response was, it was a response, and she resigned the very next day. SGA, on the other hand, they have rallied together to with other organizations around UNT to gather and do some protests, which is all fine and fair. And actually, the first thing I was going to ask you about is how do you feel about the list of demands, I guess, and I put them in quotations, because I don't know, some of them do feel like actual demands, some of them do feel like there's something that could be productive coming from it. How do you feel about the list of demands? There were 5 of them. I don't have them on me, but how do you feel?
When I read through them, I thought it was a bit extreme. I guess my thoughts are, she resigned, we can let it go, because it seemed to me like it was just a cash grab. And that was kind of my thoughts on it.
Interesting. Yeah, so personally, I really didn't pay this too much attention. It just kind of happened last Thursday night, and in between, all the days preceding today, of course, there was something that happened about earlier. I think it was like about 10:30 in the morning or something like that. Another sit-in protest, I guess. I don't remember the contents because I just woke up like a couple hours ago, and I saw it on social media, and I was like, okay, this is happening. And it was interesting to look at some of the responses of people. It's a very mixed thing that has happened. Pretty kind of divisive, as I've said before. Obviously you shouldn't say racial slurs in a public setting, in front of hundreds, potentially thousands of people, depending on whatever, whatever you're rallying for, whatever you're speaking about, whatever you're talking about, whatever you're trying to get your point across about, all that good stuff. You should say that at all. And so how do you feel about her I can't speak, but how do you feel about her resignation? My bad. Do you think that she should have resigned, or do you think something else should have happened?
I didn't think she should resign. I know everybody was pushing for it, but in my opinion, she shouldn't have said that word, but she was using it as an extreme example of what's considered protected speech. And I think it was a poor choice for her to use that, and I think it was even weirder that she chose to censor other words later on and not that one. But I don't think she should have resigned given the context of it. I know a lot of people were upset, but she was trying to give an example. So that was kind of my thoughts, and I think her resignation kind of gets the wrong message across because it was a free speech event, yet she's resigning because of a word. And that's just my thoughts on it.
Yeah, again, obviously I'll reiterate, say 7,500 times to obviously not say racial slurs at public events. And you shouldn't do that, but people are people, and some people's opinions are kind of swayed by others. Some are not. Some people do have their own opinions, have their own takes on this. That's why it's such a mixed thing that happened. It's a lot to take in. Personally, kind of, not really. I mean, I don't know. It's something that I thought about for the past week, and I just kind of kept it at the back of my mind while I was dealing with other things. But you just shouldn't say that. And whatever the university decides to do is for maybe the benefit of us, maybe not. Who knows? It could be something that is positive, or it could be something detrimental. You never know what the University of North Texas is going to do, but you never know, because go Mean Green first of all. But we're gonna keep on going here. We got plenty of time. That was just the main gist of things. I know I tried my hardest to maybe get the major voice of the protests and stuff like that in here. But fortunately, it didn't happen. But we are going to speak a little bit more about conservatism on college campuses, because I feel like it's a thing that is it's happening, but is it happening at the rate that some people literally want it? Of course, there's some people that are like really pushing for a more conservative voice, a more free speech type of voice. And I remember from all the way back September 2018 when I came on here to this set for the very first time and I spoke about free speech, and it was 17 and a half minutes of me just going off and rambling and whatnot and all that good stuff, because I just had to get my mind out here. And that's the beauty of this show. That is the beauty of this show. You get to speak your mind, speak whatever you want to speak about. And anytime, I've only brought guests on here about 5 or 6 times, including our guest today, and it's all been fun, all been great, and people have a wide variety of opinions that really make the mind think, that really makes me think, what in the world is going on? What in the world is my political identity? What is going on around here? But anyway, that is just a tangent of things that I want to say. And there's plenty more that I could talk about, but I don't have 3 hours in here. I only have about 30 minutes at best. So, how do you feel? Do you feel that conservatives on college campuses are getting silenced for their opinions?
I think to an extent that we are. I know being out tabling with my group before, university employees have asked us to leave on grounds that they couldn't ask us to leave on. We got called a fire hazard one time while we were sitting on a bench like weird stuff like that. And then the solicitation policy, obviously it applies to everybody, but they seem more eager to tell us that we're breaking it than they do other groups. So in my opinion, I think a lot of the staff don't really care either way if we're conservative or not, and they're not gonna bother us when we go out tabling or that sort of thing. But there are quite a few who do feel strongly against it, as well as students. I'm not sure anybody's really ever said anything to our faces, but obviously on Twitter and UNT subreddit, they don't really like us, and they definitely do try to shut us down. So
yeah, it's a crazy phenomenon. Obviously, of course, all these episodes get produced in one shot, one take. Joey's back there. He's probably looking at us right now and stuff like that. You know, he's probably like, "Oh wow, you're acknowledging me." But you know, all these episodes get produced, and when they're out and stuff on YouTube, first of all, that's when I first see them. I don't have television. I'm a cord cutter, so I don't have Frontier. I do have Spectrum, but that's for internet only. So I can't see them on, like, you know, television. But when these episodes come out on YouTube, I like to share the links with everybody, all of my amigos, all of those who may not know who I am. And once these episodes are out, you know, Reddit, oh boy, UNT subreddit, it's gonna be crazy today, maybe, who knows, or whenever this episode gets published on, you know, all the platforms and stuff like that. Whenever it comes out, I'll be making sure, again, you know, as always, you know, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, although I don't really go on Instagram that often anymore, and of course Reddit. It's all going to be fun, you know. Hope y'all are continuing to watch, you know, if you care enough to, you know, get some diverse programming in your lives, you know, pay attention for like 20 minutes. I mean, most of my shows are only 20 minutes anyway, so, you know, it's all good. It's all good, and yeah, you know, it's a great time. We're having a great time here so far. Maybe, I don't know. How do you feel about being on the show? That's.
I mean, I thought it'd be fun to go on here. I've done some other interviews with journalism people, so it's been kind of fun to, I don't know, get my voice out there.
I don't know. I'm no journalism major, so I just you know, I just come on here, do my thing, and you know, it's all good, you know. So obviously, you know, I feel like there's a couple more questions that I could ask, but I don't know yet. Let me think for a second, because, you know, it's, you know, I just want to hear you talk a little bit more.
Okay.
Yeah, just.
I can tell you some more about YCT.
Yeah, sure. That's all good. That's all we need.
All right. Well, we're a nonpartisan organization, so that's kind of how we're different from college Republicans per se. We don't have to be Republican cheerleaders, and that's kind of what they are, as well as Turning Point. I'm not sure if they're still active on campus, but
I don't know. I haven't seen them.
Yeah, I haven't seen them either. I think they might have died out, but I'm not completely sure. We do a lot of activism events. We had a Hong Kong rally recently. We've done some 2A stuff, free speech, obviously, that sort of thing.
What was the Hong Kong rally about?
So in Hong Kong right now, this past June, they were trying to pass some legislation that would have extradited criminals to the mainland in China, and so everybody started protesting against that in Hong Kong, and it's still going on, and it's kind of turned into just a big protest for democracy. So it's kind of, everybody on both sides tends to support what they're doing over there, so we thought it'd be a good unifying event for campus.
How do you feel about when, I guess, you know, at times, there are some times where I've seen, you know, some posts where students are removing posters, or how do you feel about that?
I mean, honestly, it's it's really funny to me. I don't usually get annoyed about the stuff that they do. I just think it's funny that they go so far out of their way to like take down our posters or send a mean tweet. It's really irrelevant to me. And honestly, I think it kind of makes us want to fight even more to get our voice out there because it makes people mad, and that's pretty fun.
So how many members are in your organization? You don't have to name them all.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want to, or if they're obviously there's some privacy concerns there. Don't want to be accidentally sued for no reason or something like that.
So we have about I think we're up to about 30 active members right now. And an active member to us is somebody who comes to at least one event per month. We have about 30 people in our org sync as well, but we have about 90 people in one of our group chats. So it kind of fluctuates. One meeting we can have 20, the next we could have 10. It kind of just depends on what everybody's up to. But we have about 25, 30 active members.
It's all great. It's all great, you know. it's all great to hear. And everything like that, you know, getting more people involved into doing things on the university, just that's all good and that's all great, just to try and get the drive going for something that people really care about. Politics is a passionate thing that we talk about a lot on this show, most of the time. Maybe like 75-80% of the time. Now, of course, there's times where it's like, no, not at all. And it's usually, some viral trend that's going on or something social that's going on or at the very least, or the bare minimum, I try to get something economically sound on here, but that's all hard, and I don't deal with math anymore as a creative writing major, which if you haven't noticed already, or maybe you have noticed, I don't know. You could be watching, you could be, glancing at the first 20 seconds and then just click off the video. Forget what I was going to ask next, but well, considering that, I said I wasn't going to talk about it again, but you know what, we do have a conservative on the show, so we're going to ask her about how you feel about the whole impeachment process, because it's still going on right now, and it's already complex as it is, and it's hard to completely understand. How do you feel about that?
I think it's a waste of time, honestly. I don't think there's really grounds for him to be impeached, and I think it's kind of counterproductive because I would say it's kind of rallying his fan base even more. So I really just think it's a big waste of time and resources.
Do you support Donald Trump?
Yes.
Well, that was very simple. Man, that is great. So that is great. Sorry, this interview is kind of disjointed. I tried my hardest. I didn't even have any notes for me today, which is kind of sad. But then again, it's not so sad. I kind of come up with questions on the fly, at times, and it's all great. It's all great when you come up with questions from the great genius mind that I do have, or rather, not really. Don't even. But man, trying to think here. I don't know. I've got nothing. Y'all. But I want to know, y'all. Whenever you watch or whenever it goes up on Reddit, I'm dreading that moment. I wonder how y'all are going to feel about this interview, because I know, there's a lot of people on campus that do not have the same views as our guest here today, and it's all good. You are entitled to your own opinion. How do y'all feel about the thing that's going on with SGA and UNT, and the whole thing with the resigned lawyer saying the N-word? How do you feel about that? How do you gel all that together? Because it seems like from my indication, as I've been lurking on the subreddit, it seems like some people really don't care at all, and some people do. You know, it's all great. You know, it's all great. Really, really great time. You know, discovering the conversations that go on around our campus and around to keep people aware. That's the main goal of the show, is to keep people aware of things that are going on around them, because it's almost that time. You know, some of us are graduating very, very soon. Some of us are going out into the real world. You know, aside from college, you know, obviously, you know, college is that bridge, that very, very short bridge in between, you know, the free, unadulterated, you know, symptoms, I guess, of high school, if that really counts, and, you know, the widening, bizarre, crazy world that is our adult lives, you know, when we're all in our late 20s and stuff, trying to figure ourselves out. It's all great, you know, it's all great to get the college perspective. And it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun when this episode comes out very, very soon. But do you have any final thoughts today? Do you have anything that you want to say to the people?
I kind of just like to add that YCT is for anybody, and we're here for educating people, and we're approachable. We're not just hateful bigots. So if anybody ever wants to just have a conversation with us, they should feel free, because we love talking to people, we love educating people, and we're not hateful. So that's what I like to say.
Thank you so much. Kelly, right?
Yes.
I'm forgetful with names, so.
It's okay.
But that's going to pretty much do it, y'all. I'm pretty sure, I don't know how time is gonna work, but I don't know how time is gonna work in the future, but we probably may have one more episode during, you know, the year, and it's gonna be fun. I don't know when it's gonna be. It could be, you know, later on this month. It could be, you know, that if there is time, we're in the studio, that first week of December, and it'll be fun, you know, to once again come back. I want to thank Kelly for coming on to the show today. Very, very interesting conversation we've had. It was all fun, and I am glad to have another guest on the show once again. So with all that being said, everybody, my name is Michael Lloyd. We're signing out here, and that's gonna wrap it up. Peace.